Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, my friends. The Evo news just keeps flowing. Yes, you are indeed looking at Johnny in Guilty Gear Strive. And you know what? We're going to get to Johnny in a second, but let's talk about Season 3 as Season 3 is happening and it's happening soon. Like 2.5 weeks from now soon, so very soon. So yes, Season 3 will bring Johnny and new other characters, but we're getting a lot of new stuff, a lot of new core gameplay systems, and also new special moves for the already existing characters. All new specials? How crazy are they gonna go? Well, turns out kind of pretty crazy. So yes, May, Dolphin cancels a dolphin mid-launch, jump cancels it, and then goes for an aerial assault. So they're not holding back, let's put it that way. This is a whole new level of ignorance for May. And it does state here, as you can see on the bottom right of the screen, so the specials will be added for 6 of the 15 initial launch characters. However, more will be coming later on. So it's not going to be everything all at once, but of course there's going to be new patches and all that throughout the year with more DLC. So over time, even I'm assuming the entire roster will get all new moves. Like, look at this madness from Faust. So he does item toss, that's nothing new, right? But he eats his item toss, it's the hammer, and then he can just groove on it, and then he shoots it out of his head later. Is this like an item store that you can keep one item in store and then shoot it out whenever you want? And then you also happen, with the benefit of storing it, knowing exactly what that item is? That seems pretty good to me. Ramlethal? Well, Ramlethal, I don't know what to read out of this, but it almost looks like she was playing a bunch of Mortal Kombat or something and learned how to do a Jack's ground pound, hits the ground, and then a giant explosion happens behind Sin. That seems pretty good. I don't know if it's like going to be delayable or whatever, or if it's like a mine, because it looks like Sin walks backwards into it, but very interesting. Angie, after successfully spinning a move, looks to have gained a new watery overhead slam. As you see, he absolutely dunks on Soul here. And once again, new specials, yes, but all new mechanics for everybody. One of these new mechanics is the Wild Assault. Everyone can do this. Quarter circle forward dust takes half your meter, right? So we can see here Nagoriyuki does it, and it guard breaks Asuka, and he goes for the grab. Gold Lewis, he goes through Axel's sickle, right? It says on the bottom right here, properties vary depending on the character, so everyone might have their own flavor. But for Gold Lewis alone, right? For such a move, and such a character that traditionally has given him such issue, and if he can just easily go through that kind of stuff at the cost of meter, and it launches too, looks like, right? That's going to be a whole reimagining of the game and matchups. Happy, he does a rush, guard breaks, and cancels into a reload, and he's still plus. That's crazy. Bridget rushes forward here, and we have more juggle potential. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff. And then for defense, we have deflect shield, quarter circle back dust, also takes half your bar, so it's not cheap, right? But this is basically push block in a way too, as well as just some really strong defense in the end. So it blocks everything's highs, lows, overheads, projectiles, everything, right? And you can see here, when they go for it, it pushes them out and it forces a whiff, just like proper push block in, say, a versus game, right? And when they whiff the move, you can go for the punish. So if you know they're doing like, baby's first block string and you know how it's going to end up, you can absolutely punish and destroy them for it. Two very, very strong universal mechanics. So new moves for some characters, some all new universal mechanics, and of course there's going to be balance changes and all that, right? And that's this month on the 24th. So a lot's happening, and it's happening very, very soon for Guilty Gear. Not the least of which, on the 24th, hey, remember Johnny? We're talking about Johnny? So Johnny is your first Season 3 DLC character for Guilty Gear Strive. So Johnny is still Johnny, but like many returning characters, he's changed up a bit for the Guilty Gear Strive system. So no more coins. Instead of coins, it looks like we have cards. So Johnny can toss out cards, and once a card is out in the wild, when he does one of his slashes, if it hits the card, it looks like it detonates the card. As you can see, an additional pop-up effect here. Same deal. Goes in, plants the card on the ground, hits the card with the slash, pops the card, explodes, rejuggles the enemy. Also can be tricky as well here. Goes for basic string, holds out, and then you can see here while he's holding out on the sword, he can just kind of teleport backwards, make the opponent whiff, and then punish them for whiffing. Also against Nagoriyuki, we can see that he's got those big boy buttons, which is really good. And we got some returning stuff. Behold, Isenga seemingly has returned. Now the question is, can we use it for dirty quick overheads like back in the day? And of course, trailer being a trailer, you got to show that Johnny has the basics, right? Of course, he can dust and overhead. He's got cool wind poses. He can toss you like anyone else could. And then there's some more interesting stuff like this again. So special that goes over Axel Sweep, leaves a card on the ground, and then uses Finder to detonate the card and launch and combo out. So this, along with what we already saw, it shows that card placement's probably going to be like a lot of the big game plan for Johnny in Strive. Going to be a pretty important deal for him. And we get some super teases. One where he basically turns you into a playing card and just, well, cuts you in half. You're the Joker, right? And a hint of what the other cinematic is. We don't get to see it because they always do that, right? They always do it in every trailer. But yeah, so Johnny coming out the same time as Season 3, 24th. And there's going to be a lot happening. New moves, balance patch, I'm sure. The new mechanics, Johnny. And yes, we're getting more characters, of course, naturally, throughout 2023 and 2024. And it's coming with more colors for the new characters and 2 new stages again. So we're getting a lot for Season 3. And man, it's going to be so busy for fighting games. Street Fighter launched not too long ago. This is happening in 2.5 weeks. Mortal Kombat is launching less than a month from this time when the Season 3 drops. We're in fighting game paradise right now. And you better believe I am absolutely here for it. So lots of announcements at EVO already. Check the channel. I'll have a bunch of videos covering. More to come, more than likely. And I'll try my best to cover that too. But for now, that is the news. It's very big news. And, well, that's the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. And go out and play some Guilty Gear.